Welcome to Kaleidoscope Education Channel, USS Daily Class, English Part. Question number 1. A fox said to a cat, I am very clever. I know many ways of dodging my enemies. The cat smiled and said, I know only one way. Just then, they heard dogs barking and saw hunters coming. The cat climbed a tree and hid in its branches. The fox began to think, what should he do? How should he escape? He could not make up his mind. It was now too late. The dogs and the hunters got the fox. Dear friends, answer this question. One day, a fox said a cat that he is dash. Options: foolish, clever, beautiful. None of these. Next question. The cat smiled to hear the fox because what the fox said was funny. The dogs were known to her. He knew the best way of escaping. None of these. Question number 3. The fox was clever, proud, simple, none of these. Question number 4. How did the cat escape? By climbing a tree, by running, by hiding, none of these. Question number 5. What happened to the fox at last? Options: caught by the dogs and hunters, escaped, killed, none of these. Please listen. Activity number 2. Why is it easier to swim in salt water than in fresh water? The answer depends wholly on the heaviness of our bodies as compared with the heaviness of the water. Our bodies are more than three-fourths water, but most of the rest is heavier than water and so helps us to float. Now, fresh water is less heavy than salt water, and so our bodies, though only a little heavier than it, tend to sink in it. Ordinary seawater is heavier than fresh water because it contains a lot of salts melted in it. Just as the water of our own bodies does, so we find it easier to float and swim in seawater. But in some parts of the world, there is water that is much saltier than even seawater. This is the case, for instance, in the Dead Sea. There are some liquids much lighter than water, and if a man were to fall into a lake of one of them, he could not swim at all. However, good a swimmer he was, for his body would sink like a stone. Question number 1. Our body contains more than dash of water. 1/3, 2/3, 3/4. None of these. Question number 2. Seawater is dash than fresh water. Heavier, lighter, brighter, none of these. Question number 3. Why don't we sink in the Dead Sea? Because it is much saltier than the sea water. Next option. Because it is much lighter than the sea water. Because it is with fungi. None of these. Question number 4. We could not swim in the pool full of a liquid lighter than water. Why? Because our body sink in lighter water. Next option. Because we float in lighter water. Because our body becomes stiff. None of these. Question number 5. It is easier to swim in salt water than in dash water. Options: cold water, fresh water, hot water. None of these. Please listen. Activity number 3. William Rudolph was an American athlete. She was born before the due time. She weighed only 2.04 kilos at birth. She was very weak. At the age of 4, she had an attack of polio. Her left leg became useless. She was in bed for 2 years. First, she walked with braces. Then, she used special shoes. Slowly, her legs got stronger. She started playing basketball. She played for her school team. A coach helped her to become a sprinter. In the 1956 Olympics, her team won the bronze medal for 4 into 100 meters relay. In the 1960 Olympics, she won 2 gold medals. Question number 1. Who was William Rudolph? An American athlete, an African athlete, a Chinese athlete. None of these. Question number 2. How much did she weigh at birth? 2.04, 5, 3, none of these. Next question, number 3. How many years she was bedridden? 5 years, 3 years, 2, none of these. Question number 4. How many gold medals did she win in the 1960 Olympics? 2 gold medal, 1, 3, none of these. Last question in this activity, question number 5. What did her team win for the 1956 Olympics? Gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, none of these. Dear friends, now we are going to activity number 4. Please listen carefully. Malaria is a dangerous disease. This dreadful disease is caused by mosquitoes. Therefore, the best way to get rid of malaria is to get rid of mosquitoes. Malaria is most often found among people living in and near wet and marshy lands. In other words, damp or wetland helps mosquitoes. This is not because the land is damp, but because the stagnant water is the breeding place of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes begin their life as larvae in the water which does not flow. Malaria does not often occur in dry desert countries because mosquitoes cannot breed there. Therefore, the way to destroy mosquitoes is to stop them from breeding in stagnant water. How can we do it? It can be done by draining all dirty ponds and pools. Another way of preventing their growth is by keeping the still water covered by spraying kerosene. Kerosene spreads like a thin film on the surface of the water. Thus, the larvae do not get air and as a result, they die. Question number 1. Which insect causes malaria? Rat, mosquito, termite, none of these. Question number 2. What help mosquitoes to breed? Damp or wetland, dryland, stagnant water, none of these. Question number 3. How does a mosquito begin its life? As a fly, as a larva, as a tadpole, none of these. Next question, number 4. How can we prevent the spreading of mosquito? By spraying kerosene, by spraying DDT, by spraying naphthalene. The last question in this activity, question number 5. How do kerosene kill mosquitoes? By preventing air, by preventing water, by preventing carbon dioxide. None of this. Dear friends, please find out the answers. Now, let me conclude. Please subscribe this channel and enable the bell button also to get the notifications. Thank you. Thank you very much.